some might say the sun ain't gonna shine, and we must make our way by night. But I believe I'll see the day. 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 Money man come, money man take it. Who made him a money man anyway? I believe I'll see the day. I believe I'll see the day. Believe I'll see the day. Believe I'll see the day. Revelator, what he was on, I couldn't say, but I believe I'll see the day. 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 I believe I'll see the day. I believe I'll see the day.
Tux on Tour, Tux on Tour, Tux on Tour, Tux on Tour. Bonus episode, folks. Bonus episode time. Welcome back to Rock and Roll Fashionistas. My name is Unimportant, and you are listening to a special episode of Rock and Roll Fashionistas to hype up the latest leg of the current Al Tuck tour. Now, Canada's Troubadour, Al Tuck, he hasn't toured in a while, doesn't tour as much as he used to, for various reasons. Anyway, Al Tuck is headed to Toronto. He's got 3 shows that he's doing in the Big Smoke. Do kids still call it the Big Smoke? I don't know. Like, my parents are like Depression era kids, like World War II. They always called it the Big Smoke, and like the baby boomers, like the kids of the Depression era kids, that they called it the Big Smoke too. And I kind of grew up in their shadow, so I still call it the Big Smoke. But I don't know. I've heard T Dot. Is T Dot so like 1999? Anyway, doesn't matter. Toronto, Al Tuck, Canada's Troubadour, 3 shows in Toronto, and guaranteed each show is going to be different. Building up to the climactic show on Queen Street West at the legendary Cameron House since 1981. I remember the Cameron House in, 83. I wasn't quite of age at that time to be able to legally enter the premises. But it was much later that I would partake in the fruits and riches that are often found on Queen Street West, the Cameron House. But nope, we're not there yet because there's a warm-up gig right here in the East Coast. Now, this gig, Al's warm-up gig to the tour, is happening in Dartmouth, right? Like, what is it they say about Halifax? The best thing about Halifax is the view of Dartmouth. This is true, people. Dartmouth is the new Manhattan. You heard it here first. Okay? So, Al is doing a show at the legendary Woodside Tavern. This is the oldest tavern in Dartmouth. It's at 209 Pleasant Road, Dartmouth. Now, according to their social, on their Facebook page, I checked this out. I did all this research for you folks. So all you got to do is just, listen to our the little bonus episode we're doing here. And you can check the show notes if you want, because we're going to put all sorts of groovy little links and bits and pieces and songs and maybe even a little interview with the man himself. You'll have to stick around and see. Tux on Tour, people. First stop, Woodside Tavern, Dartmouth, 209 Pleasant Street. This is Friday night, right? Remember Codco and the Friday Night Girls? Very bad, very, very, very bad attempt at an accent there. I used to be able to do it. Friday Night Girls. It's a right nice night for a fight there, eh, Mike? The Friday Night Girls. I'm doing the best I can, okay? It's in my blood. My mother was born here. It's a long story. Okay, we'll get into that in another episode. So, kids, your upcoming Friday night, if you are in the greater Dartmouth, Halifax, Nova Scotia, surrounding areas, heck, Cape Breton, come on down, people, come on down. Al Tuck is in the house. Okay? I'm talking to you people in Marguerite. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people in North Sydney. You know who you are. Okay? Come on down. It's going to be a great show. Doors are at 7. Music starts at 7:30. And apparently it's a pay what you can, which is always fabulous. With a suggested rate of $15. So that's the warm-up gig. That's this Friday, April 4th. Don't miss it. And then Al's leaving on a jet plane. He's hopping on a plane. He's going to the Big Smoke, T-Dot, Toronto, whatever. If you live in Toronto, center of the universe, right? I kid. No, Toronto. So Sunday, Sunday, April 6th, Al's doing the Danforth, folks. The Danforth, my old stomping ground, my old hood. Fabulous. Some of the best times I ever had in Toronto. Danforth. Can't recommend it enough. Sunday, April 6th, sauce on the Danforth. Okay? Keeping things saucy since 2012. Okay? That's right on their Facebook page. Sauce on the Danforth. It's 1376 Danforth Avenue. This is like a groovy, cool Sunday matinee show thing. So I was checking out their social. I was on the Facebook page for the Sauce on the Danforth. And as far as I can tell, I think the doors open at 3. So hopefully it's going to be a fabulous sunny spring day out there on the Danforth, and the vibe is going to be just right. And you are going to luck into some Al Tuck, Canada's Troubadour. I believe the music starts at 4 p.m. Okay? East End, Toronto. Now, what's the opposite of East End? We're talking West End. Represent. We're talking the local. Okay? 396 Roncesvalles Avenue, or Roncy to all the cool kids, or for people like me who don't like to have to pronounce the word Roncesvalles too often, because it's not an easy one. So the show at the local, the Al Tuck Show, because Tuck's on tour, the Al Tuck Show is at the local in Toronto. That is Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, April 8th. This is not a month from now. This is this week. So get the word out, folks. You know, bring the family, bring your friends, bring your cousins. Heck, bring your enemies, you know. We don't care. And you know what? While you're at it, buy Al a whiskey. I usually get him Glenfiddich. That's just my thing. It's always a joy to buy Mr. Tuck a beverage. And it's sort of, well, it helps lubricate the evening, so to speak. So we're going to leave that right there. Now, as we said earlier, I think the culmination of the Tucks on tour, like the piece de resistance, is going to be the show at the Cameron House the following day on Wednesday, April 9th at 9 p.m. And I forgot to mention that apparently the time at the local is 9 as well. I was looking on their Facebook page, on their social. Best live music in the West End. But the Cameron House is on the West End too, but it's closer to the east, right? It's real close to Spadina. You know, not in the heart of West End Toronto, but, you know, close enough. So, okay, we're just going to quickly recap here, okay? Tuck's on tour this coming Friday, April 4th, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Al's at the Woodside Tavern. Hops on a plane Sunday, April 6th. Sauce on the Danforth. That's a matinee. Doors at 3, shows at 4. Then on to the local on Roncesvalles for Tuesday, April 8th. Shows at 9. And capping this leg of the tour off, the following night, Wednesday night, front room, 9 o'clock on April 9th, the Cameron House, 408 Queen Street West, since 1981. You're going to get yourself some Al Tuck. And while we're at it, we stopped by Shea Tuck the other day at an undisclosed location in Eastern Canada, because we don't want to have like a whole Woodstock scenario, you know, on our hands, if we can avoid it. I will give you one hint, though. It's the house with the big red door. Don't tell Al I said that. Now, we actually had a chance to talk to Al, not just about the upcoming tour, the Tucks on tour, but we also had an opportunity to talk with Al about his latest album. Okay? Water, Blood, and Whiskey. It's not Water, Blood, Whiskey like I always thought it was. I guess the little and symbol is real teeny on the artwork. And, I bought the album on Bandcamp. And you know what, kids? Bandcamp is the best place to get yourself some Al, because Bandcamp gives more money to the artists quicker. So we are great fans of Bandcamp. Working musicians who have bills to pay, they are great fans of Bandcamp. Heck, a lot of musicians these days don't even bother with the other places. They just put their stuff out exclusively on Bandcamp. Or maybe not exclusively, but they will put the odd exclusive thing out on Bandcamp. Anywho, we digress. Now, this is a very exciting album. It's a triple disc. Okay, so each word, each subject has its own disc. There's 32 songs. This album is over 2.5 hours long. And believe me, it's 2.5 hours well spent. Now we're going to give you just a little taste. Well, we started off the bit today, the special little midweek bonus episode with I Believe I'll See the Day from Al Tuck's latest album, Water, Blood, and Whiskey, triple album, available on Bandcamp. There is a physical release of this album. As far as I know, it is sold out, and it is at present extremely limited edition. And speaking of limited edition, Al's got an extra little card up his sleeve. Now, when we were speaking with him, we had a quick little riff on all the formats like CD, vinyl, and cassette, right? And downloads. So the latest Al Tuck album, the opus, Water, Blood, and Whiskey. Now, this album is available as a digital download, and there was a CD. And hopefully some more, there will be a second and third and fourth pressing. That remains to be seen. But at present, I believe Al is sold out. But there was a physical CD issue of this album. And it's lovely to have it in the physical form so that you always know what you're listening to. I'm holding on to a copy right now. If memory serves, this is actually the last copy that Al had. I'm holding it in my hands. So it's the triple disc, the 3 albums. And I can see clearly which songs are on which album, which disc. Because the only downside about when you buy the album on Bandcamp or, well, any other streaming service is that it gives you a list of 32 songs. But so you don't know exactly which song is Water, which song is Blood, and which song is Whiskey. So that takes care of the one format, right? That's that. Well, 2 actually. There's the digital download and the CD. Now, recently, Al put out this extremely limited edition cassette. And you know, like how like the Beatles had the White Album, and then Prince, you know, he came out a number of years later with the Black Album. And was it Jay-Z who did the Gray Album? Anyway, let us know in the comments. I heard a bit of it. I don't own it. A lot of cool beats on that thing. Anyway, I sort of think of this as Al's blue tape. I can't say album because it's a cassette. It's a tape. The blue tape. It's blue, like the actual tape. Not like the tape as in the tape that you know, like the actual, I mean like the cassette it's in. You know what I mean. It's blue. You know how usually like they're either clear plastic or like they're black plastic? Well, this puppy's blue. And extremely limited edition. There's no credits on this album other than Al's name, the name of the cassette, and the song titles. It's an extremely mysterious album release, cassette release. And apparently, if the mood strikes him, Al actually auctions these things off on stage, live. So if you check out Al on any of these 4 dates that he's playing this coming week, well, you got 3 things to do. You want to buy him a whiskey. You want to ask him about the song Buddha and Isabel and the new album. And then, well, and obviously you're going to go to the gig. You're probably going to go to all 3 gigs because they're all going to be different. They're all going to be fabulous. And then you're going to want to ask him if he's got a blue tape to sell you. Now, I wish I could end this bonus episode off with a little selection from the blue tape. But Al does not want this music to be digitized. He only wants this tape, this blue cassette tape, this album that he has made exclusively for cassette release. He wants it to remain a cassette release. And he specifically requests that people who when they buy the tape with the auctions that he does on stage, that they agree never to and not to digitize it. Now, we're going to get to that because we stopped by Shay Tuck. He gives us a little more information about the shows. Always a joy to check in with Mr. Tuck, see what he's doing, see what he's up to. We did a fair bit of recording when we stopped over. So we're just going to give you a little taste right now. We're going to give you a taste. You know, I had my cup of tea, and, well, he had his beverage and whatnot. And so you're going to hear what ensued. But also, in an upcoming episode, not sure when, but in an upcoming episode, we are going to do a full episode feature on Al Tuck's latest album, the Opus. This is a career, a benchmark move. Water, Blood, and Whiskey. Available now on Bandcamp. We're going to turn it over to Al, and then we're going to end things up, we feel appropriately enough, for when Al gets back home from this eastern leg of the tour of Tucks on Tour. we're going to end things off with Where Am I Going to Live When I Get Home? Thank you for listening.
Well, yeah, because like I toured with the Silverhearts, they were nice enough to let me join them on a tour east. They came east, and I wanted to get east, get back home.
Right.
And I was pretty tight with Charles Glasspool and other members, and but the bass was provided by sousaphone, and that guy huffed and he puffed and rooted and tooted on that sousaphone all night. He got $20 just like the rest of them did. He got 20. That's a lot of work for $20. Right?
What is a sousaphone?
Is that how you say it?
How do you say it?
Sousaphone.
Sousaphone, okay.
After the man who made all the marching music. Sousa.
Oh, Sousa, right, the marching guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not as large as a tuba, but it provides a bass.
Wow.
A wind bass.
The time that I saw the Silverhearts, because they're from Peterborough, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where they're from.
By and large, yeah.
You kind of have a connection with Peterborough, like what was it, the Montreal House?
Yeah, Montreal House. I did shows with them there. I did shows without them there.
You ever play the Red Dog?
I did eventually. I think most recently, or no, not most recently, but not early on. I played the Red Dog.
I'm glad that you just mentioned these upcoming gigs. So you've got 3 gigs lined up in Toronto. So the one gig is at the local.
The first one's at the Sauce on the 6th.
Okay, so that's
At Sauce. I don't think it's the Sauce. I want to sound cool here.
The Sauce.
Sauce on Danforth.
That's very cool.
Sauce.
So that's April 6th.
6th.
Do you remember what night of the week that is?
That's a Sunday.
Oh, nice.
This is I think it might be somewhat of a matinee.
Oh, okay.
It's a neighborhood, right? And,
yeah.
And so we're hoping to get a nice Sunday afternoon vibe. I'm not clear on the time just yet, but
right.
But that's the idea for that one, I think.
Okay, I like that. Nice sunny afternoon spring show on the Danforth with Al Tuck at Sauce.
Mark Bartlett, I have to thank for that one, lining it up. And then on the 8th is the local.
Okay.
And that's a Tuesday, I think.
Do you remember what street that's on? The local?
Roncesvalles. Older listeners may remember the local as Cafe May, which is what it was before it became the local. I had friends who purchased Cafe May off Keiko, the eccentric elderly lady who owned it and cooked the German-Japanese cuisine there.
Wow.
She was Japanese herself.
Right.
And one of the only people who ever read my tarot cards. And she was wanted to get out, I guess, or sell it.
Right.
So my friends bought it, a couple, Yvonne and Heather, but they purchased the place. But the problem was, she wasn't about to leave. They loved her and her personality and everything.
Yeah.
But they didn't expect it like her to just sort of come with the building and still boss them around and everything. So they backed out. But for a minute there, I was planning on, I had nowhere else to live at the time. And I was seriously planning on moving in upstairs, having a residency in the Cafe May.
Yeah.
And playing ball in the ball field nearby, nice area.
Yeah.
I had convinced myself that this is what I was about to do. But my friends backed out of the deal. I saw Keiko years later when she came to my show
Oh, nice.
at the Cameron or someplace, decked out and dolled up and in her cowboy hat.
Oh, nice.
And
I'm wondering. There's probably a song in there somewhere for her.
Pardon?
Like a song that
For Keiko?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there were Toronto songwriters who she liked and played there far more than I did because she had a regular thing
Right.
happening there, and it was a pretty good scene. I wish I'd been there more, but there are Toronto, capable Toronto songwriters who knew her better perhaps and could help me out with this if they didn't want to do it themselves.
Well, thank you for telling us about the history of the local. I had no idea. Just to recap, because it's very important, people, that that you get yourself out to these shows.
Yes.
So I'm assuming this is going to be a solo gig.
It remains to be seen how I'll, play the 3 gigs. The third one's at the Cameron House that's in the front room from 9 to 12. I can't help but picture more of a band at that one for sure.
Wow.
And the other 2, Sauce and the local,
Yeah.
maybe just 1 or 2 sidemen. Maybe not. I'm not. I'll see who's available. I'll be doing some recording too, and I don't know whether to. I can't decide whether to, go with the fellers that I've worked with and had, may I say, success with in the past.
Mm-hmm.
At those sessions, there was quite a unit, and or whether to younger players, or even if they're aware of you at all, maybe even more keen. I've been honored with a lot of freebies from these Toronto hotshots, and I'm very grateful. Well, I might have talked to a fiddler, Alison Corbett, about
Right.
something, and she had ideas about the bass player.
Oh, right.
She wants Chris Banks, right?
Okay.
And who's a man I love, and he's on a couple tracks on Food for the Moon. Plays the upright on those.
Oh, nice.
So that would be sweet, but there's a lot of things to consider, with the range of the material and everything. So it's hard to say how that'll happen.
Like you kind of you're kind of a traveling troubadour.
I was. Yeah. I used to not feel right if I didn't get into it occasionally, at least.
Yeah.
And I'd come home and, after a while I realized, I needed more of that. But I've gone a long stretch with very little touring and try to figure out other ways to stay sane. I've played New Brunswick, but I'm not a household name there, I guess, or
Right.
I had to fly straight to Toronto this time because you burn up your profits if you have nothing coming on the way back.
Yeah. There's the 3 shows in Toronto. We'll recap them and we'll put them in the show notes so everyone knows in advance where to go. But you're playing a show, like a pre-show, like a warm-up show in Dartmouth, right? Like before you go to Toronto.
Yeah, that's at the Woodside, on the 4th.
Legend has it that this is the oldest tavern in Dartmouth.
It is, yeah. That's what they say. Yeah, I love that place. It's really growing on me.
So this is a cool trip because not only are you doing you're doing the 4 gigs, because there's the 1 show in Dartmouth before you hop on the plane to go to Toronto. Then you got the 3 shows in Toronto, and also you've got some recording that you want to do.
Right.
Because now you had mentioned that you were off to the printers today. You'd printed up lyrics for 12, I think it was 12 tracks, 12 new ones.
12 songs. Yeah.
But now, the last time that we spoke, you played me some extraordinary recordings that you were working on. And some of the most unique vocals I've ever heard you do. Like this is like you're just really sounds like you're really having a lot of fun, like stretching your range and really reaching for it, like in a good way.
Thank you.
So so those tracks that you had played me last time, is this all towards this one album that you're working on now?
The one that I'm finishing off now, and I've been finishing it off for far too long,
Yeah.
is two double vinyl albums.
Right. So the 12 songs that you're hoping to possibly get an opportunity to record when you're in Toronto, they're going to be part of the two.
No. That's
a separate
something else.
project.
I'm
Okay.
starting fresh.
Oh, okay.
I've resisted the urge to record any songs, from 2024 or since, in the interest of seeing to the petty details of the two double vinyl albums.
So
They will be finished. They had better be in the hands of the mastering guy
right.
next week. But when I go, I'm determined. But
So are they done? Are those two albums done?
yes, but with not the final finishing changes necessary completed.
Okay.
Just that close, right?
Yeah.
And the same with the cover art. But that's a bunch of quicksand too. Anyways, I don't know. I wish I had some kind of like executive assistance with some aspects of these things.
Yeah.
But no, these 12 songs would be written since I started in on this double album business.
Right. So this is a whole new project. Like these 12 songs that you've got tucked under your arm, that could be a whole album, right? Like
Yeah, I don't want to let the list grow longer because I know how challenged. I've bit off quite a bit when I simultaneously recorded these two double vinyl albums. It's all from the same sessions, 30 songs, right?
Yeah.
And that was ambitious, and I've achieved it pretty near, but it took a year and a half to do. And if I've got 12 songs, now's the time to get those ones, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because, you'd think I could manage it a little more swiftly. Just 12 songs.
Well, it's always good to be forward looking. So, it sounds like right now you're in the midst of, you're nearing completion of two vinyl double albums. You're working on the 12 songs for like the new project. But what we actually want to talk about today, now you had just mentioned 30 songs. You've got 30 songs that are on the two double vinyl albums that will be coming out shortly-ish. But you are just coming hot off the heels of a triple album.
A triple CD album, yeah.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
I'm covering all the formats, right?
That's
Did
right.
I explain that? And I have a cassette album that's not available technically. Didn't I mention that one?
We spoke briefly about it. I know it's
But you didn't, when you added up my accomplishment mathematically, you didn't include those 10 songs or 12 songs.
No, I
or
didn't.
however.
And actually, am I going to be able to leave here today with a copy of that cassette? Oh. Well, that remains to be seen.
If anybody deserves one, it's you. Yes. I was auctioning them off at shows off the island.
That's great.
Just to see how that would go. And it was fun while it lasted, but I don't know. It's so limited edition. It's nuts, but but it's not available digitally, and nor are the videos I made for it, because most people have convinced me, not to go there or let it sit there for maybe and be dead, not a thing for a while.
But I like the idea that you have this extremely limited edition, like cassette only. This is not.
I request those who won in the auctions, or a copy of the cassette.
Yeah.
It was with the request that they not digitize
Digitize it, exactly.
And they were quite happy about that. One fella had a whole collection of cassettes that were many undigitized, and that was his thing. Right?
Lovely. Speaking of digitizing,
Where am I gonna live when I get home? Where am I gonna live when I get home? Where am I gonna live when I get home? Where am I going to live when I get home? Some of these people, they just don't know. Some of these people, they just don't know. Some of these are people I just don't know. Where am I going to live when I get home? If they don't know how to do it, I'll show them. If they don't know, praise God, I'll show them. But where am I going to live when I get home? When I get Look, there's the one who drove me to Rome. Look, there's the one who drove me to Rome. Look, there's the one who drove me to Rome. Where am I supposed to live when I get home? My old lady wrote a pretty little poem. My old lady wrote a pretty little poem. My old lady can write a pretty little poem. Where am I lost buttons and I don't know how to sew them. Two lost buttons and I don't know how to sew them. Two lost buttons and I don't know how to sew them. Don't know where I'm gonna live when I get home. They say all roads they lead to Rome. They say all roads they lead to Rome. Drive me, pretty mama, once again to Rome. Then let me live with your mama when I get home. Where am I going to live when I get home?